morning, good morning, good morning. Good morning, my brothers and sisters, and welcome to another Good Morning Grief Devotion. It's your boy, Pastor Corey Allen Duncan Sr. We are grateful and thankful for this time and this opportunity to come together to lead you in a very special way in today's Good Morning Grief Devotion. This is the daily grief devotion that is strategically designed to help you to navigate through your grief one day at a time. What is grief? I'm so glad you asked. Grief, my brothers and sisters, it is a natural, normal, necessary response to loss, change, and transition that results in the expressions of feelings and emotions. That grief is what you feel on the inside. Mourning is how you reveal it on the outside. Therefore, we don't suppress it, but we express it. We don't ignore it, but we explore it. We don't conceal it, but we reveal it. We don't lock it up, but we let it out. That's why we shout good morning, because mourning is, it's a good thing. Mourning is a good thing. Morning is a good thing. It's a good thing. It's a great thing. And we are excited to lead you today in a very special way in today's Good Morning Grief Devotion. Today is day 299. This message is going to be right on time. We're talking about my grief is fluid and fickle. My grief is fluid and fickle. Let's talk about it. My grief changes all the time. I might feel different today than it will tomorrow. It might feel different in the next 5 minutes than it does right now. My grief circles back on itself. It jumps from one thing to another. It gets snagged now and then on parts that are especially hard for me. Grief, my brothers and sisters, it is fluid and it is fickle. Fluid, that means it's ever changing. And it may be different tomorrow than it is today, 5 minutes from now than it is right now, because it can change. It's so many different feelings and emotions that you feel. That's why oftentimes you feel like you all over the place, right? Because you feel one way now, one way an hour from now. Yesterday you was good, today you not so good. And this is what you got to understand about that. It's okay. It's the natural, normal, and necessary response. Sometimes you're going to feel like you all over the place because feelings and emotions are running rampant and things change. Thoughts come, thoughts go in a matter of moments, right? So my grief changes all the time. It might feel different today than it will tomorrow. It might feel different in 5 minutes than it does right now. My grief circles back on itself. It jumps from one thing to another. It gets snagged now and then on parts that are especially hard for me. I'm in the I'm in the throes of my doctoral program, and especially just reading so much, learning so much about these different theories and models of grief and all these different things. And one of the original ones was Elizabeth Kubler-Ross, who talks about the 5 stages of grief. And the thing about that is, it's a lot of criticisms to that originally it was for people that was dying, not for people that were left, but it was really the stages of a person who was terminally ill. They navigate through them stages. Later on, they tried to adopt them to people who lost loved ones because some of the things apply, but some of them. The thing about it is, I guess one of my criticisms of that model is they talk about denial and anger and depression and bargaining and acceptance. This is the thing about grief. You're going to feel a lot of different emotions, right? And it may not happen in those stages and it may double back. It's not one of them things where, okay, I go through denial. All right. Now I go through anger. Okay. Now I'm going to go through bargaining. Now I go through depression. Now I finally reached the point of acceptance because I've went through all of those other emotions and got them out of my system. So now I'm at a point. That's not the way that works. And that's one of the criticisms of that model. It's not stages that you navigate through one by one until you reach the end. And one of the criticisms, you're going to feel a lot of different emotions, not just anger, not just denial, not just depression, and they can circle back. They can circle back, right? They can spin the block, as the kids say. And so When it comes to grief, you're going to feel a myriad of emotions. Grief is fluid, grief is fickle. Nothing's wrong with you. It's natural, normal, and necessary. Grief is fluid and grief is fickle. That's why you can feel like you're all over the place. Here it is. My grief is a lot of different thoughts and feelings all at once. It's a lot of different thoughts and feelings all at once. You ever ate something? Y'all know I'm a foodie. You ever ate something and they built flavors in the dish? There were a lot of different flavor profiles. Maybe you tasted salty and sweet and savory and all of these different things, right? There's a lot of different flavor profiles. But little heat, little sweet, right? You got a little sweet, but then on the back end it was a little heat. A lot of times when people cook, they build flavor profiles so that all throughout the dish, you just get a lot of different flavors, right? And a lot of times that's the way grief is, right? You get a lot of different emotions. You get a lot of different emotions all at once sometimes, right? It's a lot of different thoughts and feelings all at once. And the mixture is constantly morphing, right? That's just how grief works. And guess what, y'all? That's okay. That's just how grief works. And that is okay. Here it is, y'all. Final thought. I make space for my ever changing thoughts and feelings. I allow them to come and to go. I make space for my ever changing thoughts and feelings. I allow them to come and to go. I want to continue to encourage you. Yeah, find a safe place and safe space where you can release. Release brings about relief. And it's important that you do it often because your thoughts and feelings are ever changing. Like what you feeling right now, 10, 15, 20 minutes this afternoon could be totally different. And if you don't have places where you can release that, right? Like I always say, counselor, coach, therapist, pastor, journal, grief group, friend. Sometimes it's just calling a friend. It's how I'm feeling. Sometimes it's just journaling. Sometimes it's keeping a writing in your journal, or even if you do an audio journal. If you go on your phone and you got a little audio recorder, excuse me, and you just checking in with yourself. Grief log. Grief log. Today is Friday, October 25th. This is what I'm feeling, right? It's just important for you to release it. And since feelings are ever changing and things are ever shifting, you got to constantly put yourself in a position to where you're ever releasing. Give yourself permission to release, to feel what you feel, and to reveal what you feel. My brothers and sisters, today is day 299. I pray this message was right on time. My grief is fluid and it's fickle. Questions if you got them. Questions, comments if you got them. I appreciate y'all. I love y'all with the love of the Lord. Questions, comments if you got them. Hope and pray y'all have a phenomenal Friday. Continue to navigate through this grief. We gonna make it, y'all, one day at a time. One day. It's not a sprint. We in it for the long haul. One day at a time. Continue befriending your grief. Take it alongside of you. It's a part of you. And we gonna make it. All right, no questions. I appreciate y'all. Love y'all, but love the Lord. See y'all tomorrow, same time, same place. Let's go.